2 new cars, random waypoint mode in multiplayer, and a whole bunch of tweaks, tuning and polish. In this video, I'm going to tell you what will blow your trousers off when it comes to Wreckfest 2 Update 8, and also let you know what you can still cry about. There's no VR. Just think how good VR would be in this game. It would probably be the best VR driving game. Oh my goodness. Will VR ever happen? Maybe if you subscribe to my channel, they will put VR in the game. I think that's how it works. So subscribe, and then if they don't put VR in it, you can then unsubscribe. Click the like button if you enjoy what we do. And thanks, as always, to all our channel members and supporters that allow us to waste our life playing driving games, VR games, and flight simulators. So for those of you that don't have the game yet, bloody well get it. It's absolutely fantastic, and it's also on sale at the moment due to the Steam sales. It's an early access game. They are still doing a lot to it. It doesn't have a fully fledged single player, but it does have missions and objectives in it. It does have multiplayer that you can jump into and drive, along with AI as well if you want to race against AI. Few cars, few tracks. Every update they add more stuff to it. I think it's well worth the asking price already. But yeah, don't expect a completely polished title. If you want a polished title, just get Wreckfest 1, or maybe even try Flat Out 4, or the older Flat Out games, which aren't by the same developer. The first one was, but the later ones weren't. Those are more fully fledged, similar type of gameplay. Get them if you want a finished game. This is still in development, but well worth getting. I bloody love this game. As with all the updates, they've done improvements to the underlying systems that probably aren't that exciting, but things like the game performing better and being more stable, AI tweaks, the way cars take damage, netcode tweaks, a lot of under the hood stuff. Not the most exciting thing. Read through the release notes to see all the things that they have changed. For this video though, I want to focus on the big things that you will notice straight away that have changed quite significantly. And one of the biggest things that's changed is the force feedback, and I think also maybe a little bit of the car handling, though I think it might mostly be force feedback. Either way, this update again seems to have taken this game even further in the sort of simulator direction. I love that, and I think it's still accessible. I think they've absolutely nailed it in that you can play this game as an arcade racer with a gamepad, or you can play it as a simulator, and it rewards proper driving, but you can also drive like a lunatic. It's win-win. It's the best of both worlds. But now with the force feedback tweaks, one of the biggest ones is that the force feedback has rumble and sort of road texture force feedback, so it now doesn't feel as flat as it did before, especially if you're on lower end wheels, and you notice the difference between the sort of tarmac or dirt bits of the stage. Though I do think they could really do with having a slider that is more aggressive on that rumble, because it's a bit mute, the rumble they've got. So being able to up the rumble for the dirt a lot more than it is now, or turn it off if you want to, that would be really good. But it's at least there, and that adds a lot to immersion. But even more importantly, the actual basic sort of force feedback for the tyre loads and what the car's doing, as well as the update rate and smoothness of the force feedback, seems to have also improved quite drastically, to the point where this actually has better force feedback than some proper racing simulators, and really feels quite nice, which is a good thing, because they've started adding more hot lap challenges, which are really quite tricky to do. It took me like 40 laps to pass one of them, but because the force feedback and physics are so good, just you driving on a track trying to do the more sort of simulator thing of a good lap time is really engaging, really fun, really rewarding, and you can feel if you're over driving or under driving. Absolutely superb. So I wasn't expecting it, but this game manages to further tickle the sim pickle while still actually also being fun, which is illegal in the world of sim racing. A really notable thing actually as well was, I'm not sure how much this is force feedback or the physics, but the different vehicles are really starting to stand out even more in how they feel in the wheel and how they drive and how you drive them. So that's really good, because it makes it a lot more interesting to drive different cars and just a more enjoyable game. And even though the vehicles in this are quite crappy vehicles, they're really fun to drive. Like the school bus or the SUV, the mobile home I should say, is that's equally as fun as the new cars that are more sort of racy, high performance 1980s broken road cars. But you know, they're all really good, really different, absolutely fantastic. Couldn't ask for anything more. Actually, I would really love to have like a buggy and actually some like nice I know it's not the point in this game, but it'd be nice to have something that's more of a high performance vehicle or like a newish vehicle, so we could test this like for like with other simulators. Maybe that can happen with mods, I don't know, but it's such a good fun game to drive. I kind of just want to drive it with not totally broken vehicles just to see what it would be like. Now, I will say, when it comes to setting up your server, you do have the ability to control the type of opponents that you're allowing or the classes of vehicle. But the server hosting stuff, though it kind of works, is a little bit weirdly janky at the moment. When you go from track to track, it automatically restarts a countdown timer. When you try to do a cup, it automatically adds bots repeatedly from race to race. It'd be really nice if they could get the server browser to not keep taking control over what's going on, and if it could also remember your previous settings without resetting things over and over again. It's a little bit annoying if you're trying to host stuff with people. You have to really dance around the menu repeatedly to stop the countdown timer, and then to change the settings, and then to stop it going to a next event and all this stuff, or for you to keep the same cars or the same class, or you have to repeatedly turn off the class restrictions if you want to keep it all fair. So hopefully they can sort that kind of stuff out. I imagine they will do in the long run, but for the most part, if you want to do online racing with your friends and you've got a server you can host yourself, it's absolutely fantastic, especially with the new checkpoint mode, which is added to 3 tracks now, I believe, and the randomization of it keeps it a lot more fresh. I would say though, when it comes to the checkpoint mode, and just in general actually, I think this game could really benefit from some more simple locations. I'd also say this for the racing, like just doing oval racing in this is really, really fun. So even just having more oval tracks, or like just simple oval tracks, maybe like a nice oval where you can fall off the edge of it or knock people off the edge of it. And you know, they fall off a cliff. It's like an oval on a cliff or something, you know, something really, really simple. But for the checkpoint racing, it would be really nice to just have something that's like a desert with lots of undulations and nice and simple to drive from checkpoint to checkpoint, so it's more like a motorstorm type vibe to it. The maps that they have on this are really nice and detailed, and they're fantastic. They look like real locations and I love them. But weirdly, I think a lot of people would really appreciate some more simple locations. Another idea we had whilst we were live streaming this, which I think would be an amazing location, is if you had a sort of Area 51 runway, mostly flat, some very basic air hangar buildings, you know, nothing too crazy, but a more simple environment that's easier for you to then just focus on the driving and crashing people. I think that's what this game could really, really do with. What with the driving and handling being more realistic and the crashing being more realistic than the previous versions, it's a lot to take on for new drivers, and sometimes you just want to focus on the crashing into people rather than the overwhelmingness of trying to navigate these maps as well for the checkpoint race. So that would be really nice to see. It's kind of ironic that the stages they have are in some ways too detailed. They're too good. What's going on? Now, something that really stands out as well is the mini map you've got, and you can toggle it on and off. You can also zoom it in and out. The default settings are actually pretty good, but this mini map is actually really, really handy for the checkpoint race, but also for other game modes in terms of avoiding other drivers. So really like how that works. And as you can see on the left there, the mini map is kind of like a sat nav view with it adjusting, so you get quite good visibility from it. And it's quite a well thought out mini map, and also works a bit like a car radar. Now, there have as well been a whole bunch of improvements to the Crap It paint system, we noticed some beautiful liveries that people had made when we were racing this. However, I've not really messed around with the new paint system, so I just have to take their word on it that they've added more decals and made it a bit more polished. I haven't tested it, so I can't talk about it, but it's nice for those of you that like to do the paint stuff, and it's nice to see that flesh out, because the first version of the crap-it painting system was a little bit wonky. I promise to try that out properly next time we play the game, so next video we can go more depth into that. And lastly, for big changes, we now have a player progress bar in the top right hand corner which shows your player progress. I know it's really cryptic and surprising. Not quite sure of the point of this at this point in time. Obviously it'll be a feature that will probably be used in the final full game and single player aspect of the game, but as it is now, it's nice to see numbers go up when you do things. And you can build your level, and that way you can feel all special, warm and fuzzy inside when you hit certain numbers. I personally like the number 12 and sometimes 36 and maybe 92. Those are my favourite numbers that I really look forward to hitting, though I imagine the higher numbers will take a lot longer to get to. Oh, before I forget, I did notice as well the damage seems to have changed. Or the different damage settings and how much damage you get on those settings has changed, with the normal mode doing a lot less damage, and even the other modes I don't think they do as much damage as maybe before. Or either way, when we were doing the destruction derby, it seemed a lot harder to actually destroy other cars. I would actually like them to put a papier-mâché car setting in this, so that you have a really fun insta-kill mode, which would be really tense, but at the moment there's no setting for that. Everything is more probably on the sort of durable car, I would say somewhat realistic side of damage, more than the explosive, funny car damage. But, you know, it still works really well. I think it works really nice with the damage system and how you actually try and take people out if you're doing the destruction derby mode. It feels a lot less random in who gets damage. You have to make sure you're the faster car, and you have to make sure where you hit people. So that's really nice for those people that like to just focus on the destruction derby. So, to nip things in the bud, all in all, a really nice update. Not a huge amount of content changes, but 2 new cars and some new layouts for the locations and game modes and challenges. Plenty of stuff to do, plenty of fun. Not maybe the most mind-blowing of updates in terms of being bombarded with new content, but good fun nonetheless. As I said at the start of the video, this is a game to get. It's also a game that really needs to get VR. I'm sorry, Bugbear, but if you're listening, please. Before that, though, when cars respawn, if you could have them not flash on and off and blink when they respawn, maybe just have them respawn in a somewhat transparent mode, if that's possible. Or have them fade back on, if that's possible. Maybe it isn't, but the blinking is a bit weird and stands out a bit too much, I would say. Also, if we're doing serious racing now and the hot lap challenges, which are really good, we need a delta bar so we can work out if we're going faster or slower. If you're dumb like me, a delta bar, real-time delta, would be absolutely fantastic. And whilst I'm writing my Christmas list, I would say as well, it seems like my analog handbrake still just works as a button. I don't know if we've got the option for analog handbrake application and that applying a analog brake to the rears, if that makes sense. So VR, some kind of buggy, cars not blinking when they respawn, road texture and rumble force feedback intensity being controllable, some more simple and easier to drive environments and maybe a cliff or ice oval, and VR. Did I say VR? I think I said VR, but that would be good. Right, I'm done begging. Go and download the update, guys. Join us next time we live stream it so you don't miss out on the opportunity of driving over my face repeatedly, which is what happens every time we play this. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Make sure to give us a teapot if you got to the end of it in the comment section. I feel sorry for those of you that did. But until the next one, happy tea drinking, take care, and goodbye.